The legacy news media is ridiculous. They hate Trump, and it's obvious to me, and I assume obvious to most of you, that they hate America. Like, these people try so hard, just absolutely so hard, to make an argument for why illegal immigration is good. And then when everyone in America has said, you know what, illegal immigration, no, that's not good, that's bad, we don't like it, we don't want it. Then they say, well, it might be bad, it might be something that you don't want, but it's not a crime. It's not a crime. And so they say that Trump won't be deporting millions of criminals because there aren't millions of criminals. The illegal immigrants, they're not criminals. They're just good people. Some of them might be criminals, but most of them are not. But here's the thing, right? It's in the name. It's illegal immigrants. Illegal. Say it with me. Illegal immigrants. This is not difficult. But, obviously they want to push the argument. They want to say, don't believe your lying eyes and ears. They are not illegal. It's a civil infraction. And so they're not bad people. They're not committing crimes. Most of them have never committed a crime. Most of them will never commit a crime. Only 4 or 5 or so % of them will ever commit any sort of crime. And it's fine. It's fine. They're just saying that illegal immigrants are fine. They add to the economy. They're our good neighbors. They just want a better life. But they just try so hard. And they just spin the truth so much. Because they just hate this country. And they hate the fact that we want to control our borders like any country does. Because without borders, and this will piss off all the libertarians, without borders, a country is not a country. You cannot have a country that has, free movement from any other country into your country. That's not how governments work. That's not how countries work. The whole point of a country is that you've got a border. You control everything inside that border, including the border itself. You prevent the people that you do not want from coming into your country. You allow the ones you do want. This is simple. And in our country, we want to stop the criminals. We do not want the criminals in our country. We want people who provide value to our country. We want people who uphold our values. We want people who want to be part of America. Because obviously people can come in for vacationing and so on and so forth. But if you want to live in this country for any particular amount of time, right, beyond a few months or so, we want people who espouse our values, who want to assimilate to our culture, who believe that America is the greatest country in the world and wants America to be all that it can be. Not people who just want to come for a quick buck, take it with them, and send it back home. That's ridiculous. And these people are not good just because they want money. It's insane. Either way, we'll hear what the news media has to say, specifically Axios, on this, and then I will go through and show you the receipts on why they're wrong. From Axios, why Trump won't be deporting millions of criminals. President Trump claims that his administration will quickly deport millions and millions of illegal aliens with criminal records. Those millions don't exist. Less than 1% of immigrants deported last fiscal year were kicked out of the U.S. for crimes other than immigration violations. In the past 40 years, federal officials have documented about 425,000 non-citizens with criminal convictions on the ICE's non-detained docket. About 13,100 of those were convicted in homicides and are imprisoned in the U.S. They'll have deportation hearings after serving their sentences. To deport millions of criminals, Trump would have to consider all undocumented immigrants as criminals. But being in the U.S. illegally is a civil violation, not a criminal one. And this, we're going to pause right here. First off, let's talk about this, right? Now, this is something where the left says this all the fucking time. They do this all the time, right? Where they will twist the news. Same thing with these fact checkers. They do the same damn thing where they will pick certain things and show, hey, look, this is not illegal. You can do the same thing with any other crime, because what they'll say is being in the U.S. is a civil violation, not a criminal one. That is correct. That is incredibly true. That is absolutely correct. It's the entering of the country that's the crime. And how did you get here? How did you get in this country without committing a crime? Now, one thing I'll say is there is a portion that a lot of people honestly do, but, it's whatever, that does make it not a crime, which is overstaying a visa. That is not illegal. That is a civil offense, not a criminal one. But coming across our border in any which way, illegally, without authorization, so without a visa of any sort, that is in fact a crime. That is a misdemeanor. And if you are deported and do it again, now it's a felony. And I have the fucking receipts. This is straight up from Google's AI. In the United States, illegal immigration is a civil violation, but some related actions are criminal. Civil violations: overstaying a visa, a civil violation handled by the immigration court. Being in the country without authorization, a civil offense. but criminal violations, entering or re-entering the U.S. without authorization. In other words, hopping the border, bringing in or harboring unauthorized aliens, what the coyotes do, encouraging or inducing unauthorized aliens to enter the U.S., what all the Democrats do. Honestly, that's a really good point. Why is it that we do not, why is it that no one is going after the Democrats or the left who push for and try to get these people in our country? And this is something where I will be deeply unpopular for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. There are a lot of, shall we say, not legal advice, but possibly, say, how to evade the police advice from these charities and whatnot on the left for immigrants, right? And we'll see more about this later, more likely than not. But, there's a lot of places in Chicago that do this, in LA, and all these sanctuary cities, right, where they have these charities. And their job is to what's the word I'm looking for? Counsel illegal immigrants on how to avoid deportation, how to avoid being caught. Now, it's not legal advice because that would be illegal. Unless you're a lawyer, that would be illegal. But it is, it's best practices, shall we say, right? But right here, we see encouraging or inducing unauthorized aliens to enter the U.S., a crime. So, there's a lot we could do there in terms of stopping that, but whatever. Back to the story. Like I said, I've got the receipts. It is in fact a crime, and Axios can fuck right the fuck off because it's a crime. Anyway, those millions would have to include agricultural, construction, and service workers, which, this is the argument that we got from Democrats back when slavery was abolished. It will kill the economy. Who will pick our crops? Who will build stuff? Who will provide services if there are no slaves? What could we possibly do to keep our economy afloat without slaves? And yet we managed to figure it out. And now they're saying the same thing with illegal immigrants because all they want is slavery with another name. Because that's all illegal immigrants are. And even legal immigrants for that matter with HB1 visas, they're just indentured servitude. And for the illegal immigrants, in some cases, actually slaves. Especially in the case of sex trafficking, the actual human slaves doing the sex work stuff, right? They want slavery. They want people that they can control. They want people who literally are a serfdom class to be in our country because they hate everything America stands for. They hate the freedom of opportunity. They hate the fact that the poorest of poor can move up to the richest of rich and there is no actual class in America, right? Where, you can be poor, you can be rich, but there's no barrier to entry and moving between. It can be hard, but it's perfectly allowed and everyone does it, right? And they fucking hate that. And they fucking hate you so much. It's insane. Unauthorized immigrants, what am I saying? Those millions would have to include agricultural, construction, and service workers, students, and others who are unauthorized to be in the U.S. but have no criminal backgrounds, according to the legal specialists in an Axios review of federal immigration data. I'll tell you what right now, they do in fact have a legal background, or a criminal background, because they are in this country illegally. And if they came across the border, which they probably did, they have committed a crime. This is simple. Unauthorized immigrants caught near the border can be quickly removed, but any convicted immigrants serving time or those charged with crimes will face deportation hearings only after the U.S. criminal justice system is done with them. Congratulations, they're still getting deported. Who cares? In his inauguration speech, Trump previewed the executive orders on immigration restrictions he later signed, repeating his false claim that the nation is plagued by millions of undocumented immigrants with criminal records. And yet it is not false, Axios. You are the one who is false. You are the one who is lying to the American people because people will not look into this. People will not say, I wonder if it is a crime. They'll just assume that Axios knows what they're talking about. And that is just a shame. That is disgusting that Axios will do this, will spin things falsely to just confuse and befuddle the American people. This is ridiculous, and we should not stand for it. It should be unconscionable. Regardless, all illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came, he said. His surrogates have repeated that claim, adding that Trump's mass deportation plan would begin by prioritizing dangerous criminals, something the federal government has been doing since the Clinton administration. Is that what we're doing? I have a fleeting suspicion, just a sinking suspicion that we weren't doing that for the last 4 years, seeing as how, 9 million people came into this country over 4 years. Pretty sure that we weren't prioritizing dangerous criminals being, deported, seeing as how we had the Lincoln Riley bit there where, She was murdered by an illegal immigrant. And then we had the Sebastian Zepeda bit on the New York subway where, you know, he murdered someone. Yeah, he killed someone. And New York does not want to detain her for them. They don't want to send him home. They like him here. They like him more than they like you. They would rather have these criminal, illegal aliens who commit murders, mind you, in their cities. More than they want you. They want you gone. They hate you. But these illegal immigrants, no. They like these ones because they will put them up in hotels. They will give them fabulous, nice things. All free, mind you. While the people in New York will live in a shoebox and it will cost them $2,000 a month. There are literally, this is not even a bit of a stretch, apartments there that are like 400 square feet and they go for like $2,000 a month. It is insane. And yet they will give these illegal immigrants a $350, $400 a night stay for months, mind you, in these nice hotels, give them food, give them money, let them work, all kinds of things for free because they just want to. They will take the hardworking taxpayers' money and give them to these illegal immigrants because they care about them more than they care about you. Reality check. Less than 0.5% of the 1.8 million cases in immigration courts during the past fiscal year involving about 8,400 people included deportation orders for alleged crimes other than entering the U.S. illegally, an Axios review of government data found. And yet, here's the thing. Entering the U.S. illegally is a crime. If I am not allowed to commit crimes, if you are not allowed to commit crimes, why are these people allowed to commit crimes? Why are we saying, yes, I know they've committed a crime, but they haven't committed a crime. It's not criminal, right? That is dystopian as fuck. That this is that two-tier justice system, right? Where on the left, they get nothing. They've not committed any crimes, even when they burn down cities. It's not a crime. It's okay. But on the right hand, on the right, you know, if you protest the wrong way, we're gonna put you in jail for years without trial. It's the same thing here. Even though these people have committed a crime, even though it's a misdemeanor, and if they do it again, it's a felony, which many of them have done it again. In fact, Jose Ibarra, who killed Laken Riley, did do it again. He committed a felony, right? Because he'd been deported before. They're not criminals. It's not a crime. According to Axios, these people who have in fact committed crimes, they're not criminals. It wasn't a crime. It's okay. It's wild to me. This is disgusting, honestly. Where are we at? Involving about 8,400 people, included deportation orders for alleged crimes other than entering the U.S. illegally, an Axios review of government data found. Immigrants arrested in homicides accounted for less than 1% of at-large arrests by Immigration and Customs Enforcement over the last 6 years, an Axios review found. At-large arrests are those made in public settings as opposed to when ICE agents pick up someone who's already behind bars. In an Axios review of data for nearly 18... Wow, I can't talk, sorry. An Axios review of data for nearly 180,000 ICE at-large arrests from October 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2023 found that the most common charges for undocumented immigrants were driving under the influence, and those involving drugs, assault, and other traffic offenses. 3% of the arrests involved larceny, 1.7% involved sexual assaults, and 0.7% were linked to homicides. Let's pause there, and let me just say, these are all crimes that did not need to happen. If they were not in this country, these crimes would not have happened. Now let me re-go over a little bit here, right? First off, let me say 1.7% involved sexual assault. Okay? That means rape, that means molestation, that means all kinds of shit like that, right? These people, these girls, and some men probably, did not need to have suffered that trauma. 1.7% of these crimes, yes, that's fine. It's a small number, I don't care. This did not need to happen. If these people were not in our country, this would not have happened. And 0.7% were linked to homicides. That is, from what I remember earlier in the article, that is 13,000 people who were killed by illegal immigrants who did not have to die. Now, let me say that again. 13,000 people who did not have to die. If we would have deported these people, they would not have died. That is fucking insane. That we're letting these people in this country and letting them stay here, and that these people, these scumbags, are fucking defending them. Now, I'm sorry for all the language, man. This just really fires me up because these people, yes, it's not a large number, whatever. They kill people, they rape people, they sexually assault people. It's disgusting. The fact that the legacy media will defend these people, it's disgusting. There are not millions of people with criminal records to deport. Nicole Hallett, director of the Immigrants' Rights Clinic at University of Chicago, tells Axios, once again, one of those charities that we talked about that should be criminally processed. They really should be, because they are enabling and what were we talking about? What was it called? Encouraging or inducing unauthorized aliens to enter the U.S., which is a crime. They should be prosecuted. Trump should really look into that. Trump keeps trying to bullshit with the public that there are all these particularly serious so-called criminals. There aren't enough of those people to exist to be 1 million. Seeing as how there's 9 million in the country illegally, and that is a crime, yeah, there is. So you're a liar. Karen Tumlin, director of the immigrant legacy group Justice Action Center, tells Axios. Karen Liar, director of the immigrant legacy legal action, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Both Hallett and Tumlin expect Trump to begin calling all undocumented migrants criminals in order to say millions of criminals could be deported. They are criminals! Stop lying! Trump's push to immediately deport those with actual criminal records also could run into hurdles put up by state and local prosecutors, legal specialists say. Fuck them. Mow them over. Get rid of these criminals. Crime victims will want justice, and prosecutors are unlikely to allow an immigrant convicted of a serious felony to escape prison in exchange for immediate deportation and freedom in another country, Tillman said. Which is fine. Serve your time, and then get the fuck out of my country. It's not hard. Once they serve time, convicted immigrants typically have to wait in ICE detention for a deportation hearing like everyone else in the U.S. immigration system. We should not give them deportation hearings. We shouldn't give them shit. If they've committed a crime in my country, they should just be like, get the fuck out. You're lucky that we're that nice that we're just going to give you a ride home after this. Get out. It's ridiculous. There's no skip the line for criminal punishment, Timlin said, and that's fine. Very rarely does ICE allow undocumented immigrants with convictions for dangerous felonies to return to the public after serving time. Some convicted of nonviolent crimes are released, however. They should not be, because they will reoffend. Get out of my country. This is easy. Study after study has indicated that immigrants, those in the U.S. illegally, or those in the U.S. legally, and those who aren't, commit crimes at lower rates than U.S. citizens. This scary rhetoric says it's about so-called dangerous people and serious criminals within our midst, Tumlin said. The numbers, the math just doesn't math. Let me just say that the American people do not have a 100% crime rate. Now, legal immigrants, I believe that they do commit crime at a lower rate. But illegal immigrants are a 100% crime rate. And the American people are lower than that. So they do not. And you can lie all you want. You can spin it all you want. You can twist it all you want. Just like you can do with drugs. It's not illegal to do drugs. It's illegal to have drugs. Ooh. There we go, right? Now we're spinning that, right? However, you can say it as many times as you want. You can spin it as much as you want. These people have committed a crime. And they need to be punished for that crime by getting the hell out of my country before they kill someone. Because they do. Not a lot of them. But enough that is a problem, because even one is a problem, because it did not have to happen. That person did not have to be here to kill someone. Either way, guys, I have ranted enough. I'm sorry for the rant. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe. Next time it's coming up later today. We'll catch you then.